Hello, viewers. We are here to talk about ocean dead zones and why something must be done to stop them. First of all, what is a dead zone? Admittedly, most people don't know that they even exist. To put it scientifically, they are hypoxic or reduced oxygen zones in the water. No wildlife can survive in water with such a low concentration of oxygen, hence the term dead zone. Wildlife either have to flee or they will die. Some of the largest dead zones in the US are located along the East Coast, the Great Lakes, and the Gulf of Mexico, with largest being along the Gulf, expanding in size every spring. Now, what can cause dead zones? Well, as frightening as this may sound, we are all culprits of the creation of dead zones. Now, they can occur naturally, but more often than not, human activity is behind it. There are various biological, chemical, and physical factors that come into this, but nutrient pollution is the biggest issue. Some hotspots that lead to these dead zones include factories, chemical plants, sewage systems, and most interestingly, farms. What these locations do are spill excess nutrients into the bodies of water they are located near, compromising its quality. Now that this runoff, or wastewater, is feeding into the local rivers and lakes that eventually lead to the ocean. The nutrients stimulate an overgrowth of algae, which then sink and decompose in the water. As the algae is essentially dying off in the water, much oxygen is consumed, depleting from the overall supply, ergo, dead zone. Now, you must be asking yourself, what can I do to stop these dead zones? Well, the first thing to understand is they are definitely not irreversible. The Black Sea Dead Zone, earlier known to be the largest dead zone in the world between 1991 and 2001, was temporarily immensely decreased in size when fertilizers, some of those excess nutrients we were talking about, were too costly to use after the Soviet Union's collapse and the failures of centrally planned economies in other parts of Europe. Now, while this was an unintentional effect, doing something like this as a part of an agenda could indeed have a positive effect on the dead zones all over our country. So, with that example, let's get down to business. What are some solutions? The first thing we could do is voluntarily stop runoff from reaching bodies of water. This includes synthetic fertilizers that farmers use, adding nitrogen and phosphorus into rivers and lakes, causing hypoxia. This also includes someone simply throwing trash or waste into the water, or somewhere nearby that could lead to a river or lake. More generally, take any household/lawn chemicals to a recycling center instead of the trash or down your drain. Also, try to use non-toxic alternatives when cleaning and controlling pests. You can also try to conserve water used in the household, so the overall volume of wastewater needed to be dealt with by sewage treatment plants or septic systems can be diminished. Lastly, try to wash your car on a grass area instead of a street, so the water can be filtered naturally. Now, when it comes to the use of synthetic fertilizers, farmers admittedly are very reliant on them, so we realistically cannot just stop them from its use. But we could consider lowering the use of these synthetic fertilizers, only trying to use as much as the soil can absorb, so no excess runoff actually occurs. This would incorporate the use of a soil test kit, which would help determine the amount of fertilizer a patch of soil actually needs. Also, we could add some natural nutrient sources into the fertilizers, such as compost and manure. Not tilling the land and other environmentally friendly landscaping techniques could also decrease runoff, allowing the soil to absorb more of the present water and nutrients. All these ideas are also applied to your local garden, so keep this in mind. Another thing we could do is go even further and actually enact laws prohibiting the use of these fertilizers, though this is drastic due to the explanation of these fertilizers' importance in farming culture. The third thing we could do is build water treatment plants to try and prevent any human and animal waste from reaching bodies of water. With these in place, they would drastically decrease the culmination of garbage that is found in the sea, overall decreasing negative effects on animals that we eat and sell, and any plant life in the area. In conclusion, dead zones are a danger to us and much of the marine life in the world, but they can most definitely be reversed. If we keep in mind the little things that we do in our everyday lives pertaining to use of water, where our trash goes, and other daily activities, a huge change can come out of it. So good luck everyone, for we can make this difference. Thank you.